From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Don Mitchell. Coalition Avenir Quebec members named Christine Frochette as their new party leader. She will also be sworn in as Quebec's premier, replacing outgoing leader François Legault, who stepped down in January. Frochette told the party faithful after her win that their vote was in favor of a new kind of leadership and new generation. The former PQ staffer focused her leadership campaign on economic issues, including on reopening the debate around shale gas and hydraulic fracturing. Frochette and Bernard Dranville were the only two to run in the race. Meanwhile, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban has conceded defeat after what he called a painful election result. It ends 16 years in power for a dominant figure in the far-right movement, allied with U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Orban congratulated opposition party TISA and leader Péter Magyar and assured the public he will be effective in his role as opposition. Initial official results show Magyar dominated the election that's considered to be a bombshell result with repercussions around Europe and beyond. Well, after not reaching a deal in talks with Iran to stem fighting in the Middle East, U.S. President Donald Trump is threatening a Strait of Hormuz blockade.
President Trump says the U.S. Navy moving to block the Strait of Hormuz, where oil tankers have been stuck, and to intercept any vessels that pay tolls to Iran to get through.
We're putting on a complete blockade. We're not going to let Iran make money on selling oil to people that they like and not people that they don't like, or whatever it is. It's going to be all or none, and that's the way it is.
Trump made the comments on Fox News Sunday Futures after 21 hours of U.S.-Iran talks led by Vice President J.D. Vance ended without agreement.
I predict they come back and they give us everything we want. And I told my people, I want everything. I don't want 90%. I don't want 95%. I told them, I want everything.
Trump says his tough talk is what got Iran to the table. U.S. officials blame the country's nuclear ambitions for the breakdown, while Iran accuses the U.S. of overreach. I'm Julie Walker.
Meanwhile, Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan says the prospect of a naval blockade in the Strait is likely to affect oil futures and ultimately the price of gas.
Uncertainty over the president's direction may lead to more volatility in oil prices in the days ahead, which certainly could jump. If the president does fulfill his promise of blocking the Strait completely, that would be catastrophic and could continue to push oil and gasoline prices to potentially new records.
And finally, Prime Minister Mark Carney and Finland's President Alexander Stubb will meet in Ottawa this week. Carney's office says Stubb will be in the capital Tuesday and Wednesday, where they will work to deepen trade and defense ties, including for critical minerals, artificial intelligence, and quantum industries. The Prime Minister met last month with leaders of Nordic countries, including Finland's Prime Minister Petteri Orpo, where they pledged to work together to defend the Arctic and their economy. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Toronto Blue Jays have lost 2 of 3 to the Minnesota Twins this weekend after getting pounded 8-2 today at the Rogers Center. Max Scherzer was chased early, only going 2 1/3 innings after giving up all 8 runs on 5 hits, including 2 home runs. Meanwhile, bad news for the Blue Jays as they placed outfielder George Springer on the 10-day injured list. He suffered a fractured left big toe in yesterday's 7-4 loss to the Twins. Elsewhere, former infielder Phil Garner, who managed the Houston Astros to their first World Series appearance in 2005, has died at the age of 76. And 6 games on the NHL schedule today, with 4 Canadian teams hitting the ice. First up is the Montreal Canadiens. They're just getting underway against the New York Islanders. They could eliminate the Islanders from playoff contention with a regulation win. Elsewhere, the Ottawa Senators visit the New Jersey Devils. The Calgary Flames host the Utah Mammoth, and the Vancouver Canucks play the Anaheim Ducks. From the Canadian Press, I'm Don Mitchell.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.